The story begins with Genesis, a company that has sent 6 astronauts on a one-way mission to Mars. But they aren't just visiting. Their mission is to establish humanity's first permanent settlement on the planet. The question is, will they succeed? And if they do, will more people truly follow in their footsteps? This isn't just an expedition. It's about making history, a milestone for humankind. But what challenges, crises, and unknown dangers await them? The excitement, mystery, and possibilities hidden in this story will keep you hooked at every moment. 2 months into the mission, Sarah, the crew leader, learns she's pregnant. This news shocks both her team and officials on Earth. But the mission continues as planned. Upon arrival on Mars, Sarah goes into labor. With no outside help, the crew works together to safely deliver a baby boy. Sadly, Sarah succumbs to complications caused by Mars's weak gravity, passing away shortly after giving birth. Back on Earth, Genesis reviews the baby's medical records and discovers that his body has already adapted to Mars's gravity, particularly his heart. They conclude that he won't survive on Earth. To keep him safe, they decide Gardner must stay on Mars, and his existence is kept a secret to protect the mission and funding for future Mars colonization. Gardner grows up in isolation on Mars, raised by the astronauts. By the time he turns 16, he has met only 14 people in his life. Despite his isolation, Gardner is incredibly intelligent, thanks to his upbringing among scientists. He becomes increasingly curious about his origins, particularly his mother, and the mystery surrounding his father. One day, he hacks into his mother's locker and finds a ring and a pen drive. The drive contains a video of Sarah with a man on a beach, leading Gardner to believe this man is his father. He saves a screenshot of his face. Gardner also forms an online friendship with a girl from Earth named Tulsa. She is bold, adventurous, and dreams of freedom. But her life is turbulent as she bounces between foster homes. Gardner shares his own struggles with her, including his condition, osteogenesis imperfecta, that keeps him from leaving Mars. Tulsa thinks he's joking, dismissing his claims as far-fetched. Feeling trapped and desperate, Gardner takes a reckless drive outside the research center, narrowly avoiding a fatal accident. Kendra, an astronaut who looks after him, saves him just in time. Later, Kendra discusses with Genesis leadership the possibility of bringing Gardner to Earth. Though risky due to his condition, they decide to train him and perform surgeries to help him adjust to Earth's gravity. After enduring painful surgeries and intense training, Gardner is finally prepared to leave Mars. Before his departure, he contacts Tulsa to share the news. She jokingly tells him to hurry up before she's moved to another foster home. As the spacecraft launches, Gardner asks Kendra about his father. She admits she doesn't know who he is, but assures him she would have told him if she did. Upon arriving on Earth, Gardner undergoes more tests, revealing his condition is more severe than expected. Fearing he might be sent back to Mars, he escapes and explores Earth for the first time. He revels in the freedom, running, feeling the rain, and marveling at everything around him. He eventually makes his way to Tulsa's college to meet her. When Tulsa sees Gardner, she's angry at his long absence, but forgives him when he explains his situation. As the bell rings, Tulsa heads to class, and Gardner eagerly follows her, excited to experience life on Earth. During class, the teacher mistakes Gardner for a new student and directs him to the back. When the teacher asks about Thomas Edison, Gardner offers a surprisingly insightful answer, leaving the class impressed. After class, Tulsa confronts him, doubting his story. Gardner reveals he's from Mars and has come to Earth in search of his father. Though skeptical at first, Tulsa decides to help him. They begin their journey by stopping at Tulsa's house to gather money. But they're soon pursued by Kendra and the head of Genesis, who warn Gardner that Earth's gravity is severely harming his health. Gardner refuses to return to Mars, and with Tulsa, he escapes in an old helicopter. After a tense chase and crash landing, they continue their quest by car, growing closer as they travel.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher.
Using a rare wedding ring left by Gardner's mother, they track down the jeweler, who provides an address. However, Gardner's condition worsens and he collapses. At the hospital, doctors confirm that his body is incompatible with Earth's environment. Despite Tulsa's concerns, Gardner insists they keep going to find his father. When they reach the address, Gardner meets the man from the photo, only to discover he's not his father, but his uncle. Devastated, Gardner walks toward the ocean, resigned to his fate. Tulsa runs after him, but it's Kendra and the head of Genesis who save him. The emotional encounter reveals that the head of Genesis is actually Gardner's real father. In a final attempt to save Gardner, they take him to a high-altitude plane where his condition stabilizes in low gravity. Though he recovers, Gardner realizes he cannot remain on Earth. Heartbroken, he says his goodbyes to Tulsa, Kendra, and his father, returning to Mars. Back on Mars, Gardner stays in touch with Tulsa. In an emotional moment, Kendra adopts Tulsa and promises to train her so she can visit Mars one day. The story concludes with Gardner and his father walking on Mars, finding peace in their new beginning. What did you think about this heartwarming story? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing and touching videos like this one. Stay tuned for the latest updates.